this presentation by reading an excerpt from an article written by the title, Scabies, My Parting Gift from Los Angeles Metro Jail, by Yasha Levine. It's just past 2 p.m. out here in Venice Beach. The sun is out, and a cool breeze is blowing from the Pacific Ocean. Outside my window, surfers are walking towards the beach. A young woman glides by on her bicycle in Daisy Dukes and a tank top. There's a bum lazing around in the shade of a dumpster. But I can't enjoy the warm spring weather. Quarantined in my apartment. My skin is crawling with tiny parasitic mites that have tunneled into my skin and have turned me into a giant breeding bat. I've barely slept in days and I've scratched myself raw. Until a few days ago, I thought my scabies was just a gnarly poison oak rash that I picked up from the Monica Mountains. For weeks, the rash kept getting worse and worse, and I finally went to the doctor to get some relief, but it turned out that poison oak, it was the least of my worries. "You have scabies," said the doc, sucking in his breath through his teeth and shaking his head. It took him no more than 30 seconds to diagnose my condition. The track marks are a dead giveaway, he said. These track marks were actually burrows made by mother parasites as they tunneled right below the surface of my skin and laid eggs in the process. As I stared at my hands in disgust, the doc moved to the sink and violently scrubbed his hands with medical soap. Our contact was minimal, but he wasn't taking any chances, and for good reason. The little buggers used their pudgy claw limbs and stringy suction cups, grapples to latch onto your body during skin-to-skin contact and then instantly mobilized for a full colonization. Their goal, to turn your dermal layer into a vertically integrated parasite production machine. You are their food, their shelter, and their toilet. If left untreated, the scabies can leave your skin hardened into a crusty scabies super colony that could take months or even years to eradicate. Luckily, mine hadn't progressed that far, but by the time I saw the doctors and parasite crabs that colonized every major part of my body, there were painful reddish welts on my shins, palms, soles, elbows, back of my knees, and just about every finger on my hands. And I can feel the tiny welts on my fingertips hitting the keyboard keys as I type these words right now. My heels were encrusted with a scaly, hard rash. As I sit and write this, 5 days after my diagnosis, the scabies crabs have established a brutally itchy garden of hell on my scrotum. My entire body's on fire. And the more I scratch, the more the mites love it. The more I scratch, the more they crave. My flesh is no longer my flesh. My flesh is now nothing more than tenderized meat. Okay. So what is this monster they call scabies? So scabies is a contagious skin infection caused by a mite called Sarcoptes scabi, and the movement of the mites cause extreme itching, as we saw in that anecdote, and often looks like a linear mosquito bite. It can be spread just by touch and can survive on furniture, clothing, and other objects for up to 36 hours. Severe cases of scabies are called crusted scabies, and the skin in the crusted scabies may hold thousands of mites. So the etiology, the parasites burrow in the stratum corneum and lay 2 to 4 eggs per day. There's a Th2 host immune response to the mite, which results in itching, redness, papules, and nodules. Transmission includes direct and prolonged skin-to-skin contact, and less commonly transmitted through clothing or bedding. Immunocompromised patients can develop crusted scabies with a mite burden of thousands to millions of mites all crawling underneath your skin. Abe made this picture. That's all you did for the entire presentation.
Oh my God. Mark.
So the life cycle of scabies is unique because, unlike many other parasites, scabies go through all of the reproductive steps on one host. So let's look at multiple chronic conditions, scabies, and later on we'll look at scabies and chronic kidney disease. So elderly, disabled, and people with impaired immune systems are at particular risk for crusted scabies. The host becomes a more fertile breeding ground for the mites, and the mites are not more virulent, but they're just more numerous. Scabies often becomes a recurrent chronic condition in these patient groups. So here's a spotlight of scabies and chronic kidney disease. Scabies is particularly important to recognize in patients with chronic kidney disease. The crusted type discussed earlier is commonly seen in renal transplant recipients. In these patients, it can be primary diagnosis. In fact, PGSN can be caused by superinfected scabies. That's crazy. Renal transplant patients are the perfect host for the mites. Statistics. So scabies is one of the most common dermatological conditions worldwide, affecting more than 130 million people globally. There's a 2010 estimation that direct effects of scabies infestation on the skin alone led to more than 1.5 million years lived with disability. And the indirect effect of complications on renal and cardiovascular function are far greater. Scabies and the public health burden. Although it has a mortality rate of 0 over 100,000, there are approximately 23.5 global annual years lost and a decrease of 6.9% in annual years of health life. Trends. Scabies is usually reported when there's a large outbreak, and historically outbreaks were associated with war times. In modern times, outbreaks are associated with the winter time. Prevalence undergoes cyclic fluctuations on a worldwide basis, although all parts of the globe are not necessarily in the same phase of the cycle at the same time. In the 1960s, the prevalence in Europe and North America began to increase, and by 1980s, it had reached near pandemic levels. The estimated prevalence ranges from 0.2 to 71%, with as many as 100 million people affected worldwide. Treatment of scabies. Ivermectin or other permethrin antiparasitic medications. You do not want to use cortisol creams, as they soften and marinate the skin, sending scabies parasites into a tunneling and egg-laying frenzy. Questions?